anyone who has is watching this. Hopefully, this is sent out to the I command. It's my goal, and my goal of this video is not to get my rank back, although I would still accept my rank back. Although I highly doubt I'm gonna get it back. This is a video I'm making that to explain what I've done for the IRF, when I joined it, how I helped, and the actions leading up for me getting demoted, and why I believe these actions are unjust, or the actions of me being demoted are unjust. What makes a leader? What makes a good leader? Well, a leader can be anyone. Can be anyone, any symbol. A leader of a group could be somebody, anyone. For example, and I don't want to make this video about disrespecting people, but do note that if it sounds like I'm disrespecting, I don't mean any ill disrespect. I'm just trying to express my emotions and really talk about my demotion and why I believe that I shouldn't have been exiled. So let's start with the beginning. I joined IRF on May 15th of this year. I thought, oh, hey, why not, go attend a training? So I joined the Discord. I saw that one of the lieutenants at the time, MC4NB, was hosting a cadet assessment. I decided to attend. I passed the training. I get promoted the next day. I think this is pretty easy, right? I keep on doing it. I get sergeant within 2 weeks. This is excluding the event of me being banned from the Discords for suspected IP logging, which is proved to be false, and all that was blown over. But yes, so moving forward, as a sergeant, a senior sergeant, I get respected. I'm respected by, in fact, the HRs and the high command. And I graduate officer academy within 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. Becoming an officer within a month of joining the IRF. From being an officer, I joined discipline committee. I was invited as soon as I joined, as soon as I became an officer, and I accepted, because I loved enforcing discipline, and I thought that, why not make it so that this way we have the best military, most active, and most mature military that we can. While I was trying to demonstrate, show them how to be mature, I also had to demonstrate maturity, which I did. I did not joke around. I really did joke around, and if I did, I tried to keep it out of the fort. I became brigadier of the discipline committee within, I'm pulling up the dates. I became brigadier within a week, 10 days, 11 days after becoming lieutenant. From there, 6 days later, almost a week later, I was promoted to lieutenant general. And then discipline committee was disbanded. I was demoted back to brigadier, and I was sad because I had only been lieutenant general for one day. I come back from a break and I am general. I stayed general for about a month and a half. Now going on to the things that what I did in my time. I created recommendations training week. I proposed it in the officer meeting, and for not only did I just propose it, I made it happen. I created the channels, I created the rules, all in my own time. The roles, the channels, the all this, and I started making it. I made it. I started making documents. I would wake up 2 a.m., right? And I would have a great idea. And I would, instead of going back to sleep, I would get on the computer and just be like, and type my thought down. And then I would I would go back to sleep. And then I would tell my idea. And some people would say my ideas are stupid, but that's why they were ideas, because it sounded great to me, which is why I wanted to go through other people. Because yes, as a journal, I did have that permission to make stuff happen without other people's approval, but I always ask for permission, and I believe that me stopping asking permission was the main reason leading to my demotion. So a little bit before I became, when I just started school, and I decided to talk to Animus Outcast, one of the leaders of the OA and a high command. I joined the call. I asked her how old she was and how she felt about online dating. Yes, these are two very weird questions, but I did not mean them in any way of sexual harassment. But, however, I was only warned. And I thought that was the end of that. Going forward onto the 25th, I was in a voice call with FaZe Rain, Video of Us, Emilino, and, well, myself. I was flying around the fort. I was not disturbing any trainings. I was goofing off in the VC. Everyone was laughing. And I tried to frequently redirect my attention and redirect myself. And it failed. And I tried constantly to redirect, because I knew that there were going to be consequences if I didn't. So, what do? This is what I've done for the IRF. I created RTW. After my promotion to colonel, which was still rather bull, I should have accepted my plea deal of lieutenant general 1 week suspension, but I was greedy. I wanted general back as soon as possible, and I was stupid. I had the channel remade constantly. I was constantly repinging to get more activity out of the military. Made new rules for it. I did constant movie nights for the military. Always, like every Saturday or so, every 2 Saturdays, I would find a movie, and we got up to 14 people on some of the movies, and I had fun watching the movies with my comrades. I had fun, just making them happy, and people enjoy the movies nights. I created the military greeting documents to help, cadets and other people refocus on the greetings. I always hosted the officer meetings as soon as Dildry bought them back. I didn't know how to host an officer meeting at first, but I thought it was pretty straightforward, just proposals and all that. Creation of a format for officer meetings that you're probably going to carry on. I was out at a water park and I could not host an officer meeting. And at the time I didn't really have a format for how I hosted it. So I made one. I stuck to it on my phone. I would constant proposals and suggestions. I would obviously always give proposals and suggestions on how to improve it. Whenever officer meeting ended, I would go ahead and try to make as many proposals as I could happen. I constantly tried to improve the military in every way I saw fit. Every way. I constantly was active. Extremely active. And leading up to my demotion, I should have been more active. I went inactive to play other games, which I wish I could have been more active. Constant maturity. I try to be mature. But I goofed off once. I flew around the fort and I detained 3 people. I did not obstruct trainings. I did not affect anyone outside that. I did not stop from guarding the gates. The Imperial Guard in the VC seemed to have a fun time. I thought all was good. However, apparently the Imperial Guard saw fit to report me. Nobody was affected. Nobody was affected in a negative way. Sure, I abused them, but they seemed like they were having a good time. I was offered actually positions in other groups, and I turned them down because I wanted to focus on IRF, constantly helping out. I hosted QAs and stuff, and I made sure that everyone knew that I was trying to help the military as much as possible. Main officer advancement. So I was actually offered officer advancement general, and at the time there was only officer advancement general, right? And there was no major general. There was no. So I asked Jamie if I could make MC my lieutenant general. At first it was actually Jet Ape. MC was my second choice because he had hosted my first CA, and he was really active. Hosting the events for my division in my own time. So when I created the division, there was actually nobody to actually, host events. So I had to host them, despite me creating the division, which you won't see with Officer Academy. You won't see, the leaders of Officer Academy hosting evaluations and stuff like that and doing exams because it's not their job. However, nobody else had the job of hosting events for my division. So, reinforcing activity. I posted multiple times to, make sure you watch your activity, otherwise it could result in demotion. And maturity. I posted the quota log. I demoted people that acted up, and ended up got demoted for acting up myself. I hosted officer hosting competitions for Robux paid with my money, out of my pocket. Meaning I did work and got money, and I paid for stuff for people to be, so I could make the IRF military active, and we got up to 120 trainings just with officers, because at that time drill school wasn't a thing. Come up with an equal thing that I did. I AA'd. I flew around the fort and detained people a little bit. I didn't nuke the place and banned everyone. Come on. I joked around with a member of High Command. I was not trying to online date them. And then we watched games for fucking 30 minutes. Really. And then they call that sexual harassment. That's like saying that it's sexual assault if you go up to someone and hug them without their permission. Okay? Really. The amount of things I did to be, demoted was like 4 or 5. The amount of things I've done is so much more. Okay? And this was the part where this is probably going to sound disrespectful, and keep in mind, I don't want to make this disrespectful, but it is. Here's why Sword is biased. Every proposal that I did, every question that I had to because I needed permission, right, for stuff, Sword, he would read DMs. You know what he would do? He wouldn't respond. All the good shit I was trying to do, he didn't respond. He didn't say anything to that. But as soon as I fucked up, He was all over me. He constantly spawned in my DMs as soon as I fucked up. How did that make sense? How are we gonna make someone Supreme Marshal that, one, was never actually in the IRF? Because I talked to Sword. He became Marshal in a day because he was friends with Vass. Don't tell me that's not free ranking. Don't tell me that's not free ranking. Okay, there should be a Supreme Marshal that's actual high command, someone that actually responds to DMs and can give permission when needed. How are you gonna make decisions when you aren't active with a high command? You randomly post stuff. You will randomly be active, but you won't rarely actually respond to the good stuff people do. That's the thing about somebody. That's the thing that's fucked up about real life. Someone could donate $500 million to charity. They rape a kid, right? They still get punished the same way. All the good shit they did doesn't matter. And it's sad to say that that's the same with an online game. And yes, I was high, and that does not excuse my behavior. But I've done way more shit for the IRF than I have to hurt it. And my proposal that I made towards getting my rank back, Vass gave me permission for that. I sent it to most of the officers that I thought. I did not send it to every single fucking officer. No. Oh no. Otherwise I would have just done an announcement. I sent it to people who I thought wanted me back as general. Wanted me back at my rank. And you know what? Vass couldn't do shit. He said because I was punished by a court martial. He said that he was aware of my case, and he still didn't say anything about the court martial. He intervened, and he lost the argument with Sword. And in return, I was punished. Okay, and then so, come Labor Day this past Monday, right? I'm sitting there hosting an officer meeting on what I'm adding to officer meetings, right, to improve it. You know what happens? Sword comes and joins the VC and exiles me on the spot while I'm hosting an officer meeting. He brings up that little thing that I did with Animus, and I was trying to joke around about it. I was not meaning for to on my date. I didn't mean no harm. I was trying to watch memes with her. Okay. Yeah, I asked some questions that might have made some people, feel a little bit awkward. But you know what? It was done with. So it gave me the warning, and he said if I do this shit again, I was kicked out. Well, I didn't do that shit again. Not online dating, of course. And then I get exiled, and I DM Vass on an alt about why I got exiled. He said sexual harassment. One of the bullshit part about that part, he sent me an image that I was joking with my ex that I dated in real life, that I knew in real life. We talked to each other from high school, and we just communicated over Discord. I saw her every day in high school, and then we just talked over Discord because she didn't want to use Snap, and she wasn't as active on Snap. Okay, but because I was just joking with her sexually, which I do all the time, and she doesn't care. And let me pull up the images. If I can find them, give me a sec. I'm gonna have to DM someone that I talked to that was actually wanting my rank back. this. I was joking around sexually, and that's what I got demoted for. And then you know what? She says, I say, you don't mind me sexually joking with you? No. That's not fucking. That's not your business for me to joke around with somebody that I know personally and for you to kick me out for that. I know that person and they don't mind it. I got no trial for this shit. Alright? That's my case. Guys, IRF leaders, if you're listening to this, please shoot me a DM. Please. Let me have a fucking fair trial. Give me the chance. Give me the chance to defend myself rather than making a one-sided story. That's all.